All right. Welcome back, guys, for another week of Triggered. Very, very special guest with us tonight. Started since pretty much the first couple months we started. She hopped on, her organization hopped on as well through a lot of networking. So thank you very much, Michelle, for being here with us. It
Yes,
means
thank
the
you.
world to us.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be on. I've known you guys for so long, so it's great to be able to finally do something together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is exciting. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. So let's just hop into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I am the Director of Community Relations for the Veteran and Community Housing Coalition. What we do is we provide housing and supports to homeless and at-risk veterans, and we serve 7 counties. This organization has been around for a long time, and a lot of people didn't know about it. I was brought on 2 years ago to get it out into the masses, let people who know who we are and what we do. So I basically, this is my dream job, what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And what counties do you serve for people that are new to this?
So we serve Saratoga, Schenectady, Schoharie, Fulton, Montgomery, Warren, and Washington. So it's 7 counties, basically the whole Northeast corridor. The nice part too is that you can also take advantage of our services. All you need to do is move to one of the counties that we serve. So take, for instance, our transitional houses. We have 2 transitional homes, one for male veterans, the Vet House, that's in Ballston Spa. And then I have the Guardian House, which is as well in Ballston Spa. That one is a 7-bed home. So anybody could take advantage of that. They just need to agree to move to that area.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's break out the big guns right off the rip. Tell us about this new project, this amazing, great project you guys are doing. That like as soon as you told me about it, I was like, "Yep, sign us up. Let's go."
Yeah. Yep.
So this project is something that is very, very special. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, 2 sons in the service. I have one in the Marines. There's a T-shirt. I have one in the Marines and one smart one that went into the Air Force. Uh, and I see how so many folks fall through the cracks. There's a very cookie cutter type of service out there. So if you fit that one mold, great, you can get all of these services. But unfortunately, not everybody falls into that mold. Guardian House is our female house, and that is actually the only female home in New York State for homeless female vets that's backed by the VA. There are 7 in the country. So if I have, being a mom, I'm not a veteran, but being a mom, I come forward. I fought for the country, for our country. If I come forward and try to get the help that I need, I'm faced with something that no parents, let alone any veteran, should ever have to say, well, if I get the services that I need, I'm going to have to let my children go live with somebody else. They have to be placed somewhere. At Guardian House, unfortunately, since it is VA backed, we have to adhere to their guidelines, and children are not allowed. So if we have that woman, that female, come to us and she's got 2 little ones, she's faced with either one, the kids go into foster care, which is just not a great option,
Yep.
or the kids could go into care of a family member. Most of the time, it's maybe maybe the dad or the spouse is trying to get the kids back. Is mom going to let the kids go with the spouse? And then she wonders, am I ever going to get my kids back?
Right.
So that's not a good thing. Or they're unhealthy relationships that she's tried to get away from. So why would you want to place the kids there? So we came up with an idea. We came up with a plan. These moms are completely going off the grid. They will not come out. They're staying in unhealthy situations and on couches somewhere, in
Mm.
cars, behind, and parking lots, you name it. So we have Guardian House. We have a few acres there. We figured, all right, we can build another home right next to it. And the other home we're going to name Foreverly House. Foreverly House will be the first and only home that'll take in homeless female veteran moms and their children. We're starting with a duplex. So if you see Guardian House, it's the perfect situation because it's going to be like a village feel for all of the female veterans, both in the Guardian and also in Foreverly. These women will come forward. We'll get them into the one house. We'll get them into Foreverly. We'll take them in. We'll get the kids enrolled in healthcare, get them enrolled in their services, get them straight and away. And then the ladies that we have at the Guardian House can also help with childcare, help with those moms reintegrate. And I mean, you guys know it. It's that peer to peer. That's where the magic happens. So we as civilians can do all of this work and give you all of the tools, but really the magic happens once you guys are all together. And a lot of times it's just unsaid things.
Absolutely.
Is exactly going to be that. So VA loves the idea. We went to the VA. They're like, we love it. This is a great plan. We are so on board. We're on board with giving you folks, but you're on your own with trying to fund this. It's kind of it's a good and bad type of thing, because then it's, we have to fundraise the whole thing, but then we can actually go forward and create all of the rules for everything. And like I said, not everybody fits in the rules all the time within those guidelines. These women that come forward, a lot of them suffer from so many things. PTS is an obvious one. It's a huge thing. A lot of women suffer from that. The thing that a lot of people don't talk about, or they don't like to talk about, is MST, military sexual trauma, which unfortunately, and you guys know it, it's basically a fancy word or a fluffy word for saying rape. That's all it is. People are squashing that. These women are so hard to reach, to get them to trust you. This will be where the healing's going to start, towards all of those things, financially, emotionally, for the kids, for the families. We're really excited about this project.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Now, how far along are you in this process for the home?
So we started getting the plans and the ideas together about a year before COVID happened. When COVID happened, we everything halted. All of the towns, all of the planning, it just kind of sat in limbo for a while. We've been fundraising. We do the Veteran Ball. We have one fundraiser a year, and we've dedicated the past 2 years fundraising efforts to Foreverly House. We were just talking about it the other day. It looks like we're about a third of the way of where we should be, which is great because we have that foundation. Now we're looking to partner. We have people that are going to help us with builders that are going to donate time and talent, people that are coming in that will make it like a habitat type of house. So if all goes well, it looks like we should, fingers crossed, be breaking ground on this project this summer.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I know me and Zach talked about this when we first heard about it, and we definitely want to try to do as much as we can hands-on, whether it's swinging hammers or furnishing houses or like we talked on the side, even pots and pans and plates, stuff that we don't think about that people need, toilet paper, brushes,
the little things that people don't.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's where the fun part's going to happen. So it'll be a side by side. We're going to have to build each mom. We decided each parent, each family unit is going to need their own space.
Absolutely.
They've been in transient situations, and with kids and all the different ages, we decided it's much better to put everybody in their own space, let them get their time to heal and mend and repair relationships. And then we can then figure out the next step in permanent housing after that. With this, we're looking for help in maybe decorating kids' bedrooms, everything. But then when we move our veterans, we also do have items donated, where we have folks that donate household items, furniture, things like that. So when we move our families that we serve out of transitional housing, we then make sure they're set with everything. So besides Foreverly House, then we're going to still set them up in another apartment, get them all of their things, bedding, couches, pots and pans and all of that. And we're going to rely very heavily on the community to make us have all of this happen.
That's amazing. I'm so great that we could team up and get this going, because I mean, a lot of people, like we said before, is you think about a homeless vet, you think of, and I'm not homeless obviously right now, which is great. But like you think about the bearded, bald headed guy pooping on the street. That's kind of that stigma that we've succumbed to. The dirty, bearded guy or whatever. But we forget that there's so many female veterans out there, not only single vets, but female vets who have children and lives that where do they go? And it's tough because a single male soldier, they can get placed in a house, or they can there's a lot. I feel there's a lot more resources where we kind of up until recently forgotten about those female soldiers, and we've had female soldiers in every service since the beginning, and we just kind of forgot about them. And it's so great to see that you guys are doing such a huge thing for them, because that means so much to them. And I know it means so much as a past service member. Like, we're not forgetting about them. We're still helping them out.
Absolutely. And what they're doing, and it breaks my heart, they're calling them the invisible homeless, which is exactly what they are, but it almost makes them more invisible by calling them that. These are real people. These are real lives that we're dealing with. And I don't want them to be labeled as this forgotten identity of invisible people. I wouldn't want to be called that either. Absolutely. So these women, I mean, they deserve everything to get themselves back on track for just getting into like a normal life. We had one lady that we were working with. She lived behind a local supermarket, and she didn't have children, but this will fall into place the same way. She was behind a local supermarket. She had no trust in anybody. She was living in her car. And people knew that she was a veteran, and we would go there and we would try to connect, and she just wasn't ready. So P.S., she was back there for months on end. Finally, it came to the point where she did trust us enough. We were able to take her into Guardian House. We took her in, and literally she went right into her bedroom, didn't come out for weeks. She needed that time to acclimate, get herself together. And over weeks and over time, she finally started to trust people. She would come out, she would start to chat and start forming some relations with the other veterans in the house. And now she's one of our best success stories.
That's amazing.
So, that's good.
It's just perseverance. You got to give everybody the tools. And when they're ready to take that, we have it.
Absolutely.
Now, do you offer, obviously you probably offer life skills, mentoring, that kind of stuff, building blocks for them to get back on their feet in the right direction, correct?
Yeah, so you nailed it. Doing housing first is the first approach. So you want to get somebody in, you want to put them in a house, you want to give them a hot bed. Okay, great. That's the beginning. That's not the end. So they stay in the transitional house. When they transition out, the magic happens with the case managers. And that's really what sets this agency apart from a lot of other agencies. It's not a quick Band-Aid. Give you a shirt, give you some clothes, here's some food, here's a bed for a while, and, then figure it out after that. That doesn't work. It's working with case managers. So the case managers, after they transition out of the houses, the case managers continually stay in touch with the veterans that we serve, depending on what their needs are. Some will need forever care. Some will need that maybe couple weeks, couple months, or intermediate, or some may be ready to make that move. But following up, like doing a buddy check. Hey, how you doing? You have food? How's you making out with your bills? Are you falling behind? So this way we can catch somebody before they fall again. And the case managers are what they do. They're the boots on the ground. They're that emergency call. They're that, hey, I have no food, or hey, something is going on. Maybe they got let go from a job, need to find a new career. These are the folks that are helping them maneuver into the new. And really, that they're the magic makers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's huge. Did you have a question, Zach? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. Nope.
Oh, I would say I know. For myself, when I first got out, I was really confused on and transitioning through the Army. They did a pretty good job in sense of like test, doing your mock interviews, going for this job, how to write a resume. I felt very impressed in that side. They tried. But then when you actually leave and you're stuck, like, okay, here's the real world again. In a sense, there's not that structure. There's not that right place, right time, that kind of thing. It's pretty scary, and it's like overwhelming to say, okay, well, now I have to go to a job. And one of my first jobs when I got out, I worked in a factory bending rebar, because it was a quick job. It was good money, and I was like, nope, I can't do this. Like, it was just too much, too quick. So it's so great to see how you're transitioning these people, these service members and vets, to, I'm not going to say take their time, but learn those skills. Okay, we're not just going to throw you to the wolves and hope you make it. You continually track them. And that's such an awesome thing, because, like I said, when I got out, it was like, okay, bye, have fun, good luck. Hope your time was great here. So
yeah, that was pretty much the same thing. I mean, you had that structure. You had those classes, towards the end. I mean, we had classes all the time. They called it the iceberg. It was the different levels of classes. And, in the beginning, just another check the box thing that you got to go to. But I mean, towards the end, when I was getting out, you actually sit down and listen to those. They give a lot of good information on where to go, who to reach out to if you're stuck. But like Tony said, I mean, once you leave that circle of comfort and you're out on your own, it's a whole different world out there if you don't know what you're doing.
No, and it's true. And every branch, from what I've seen, transitions out differently. The Marines, pretty much, here's a 2-week class, go buy a polo, make a resume, and, here, you're done. Get a nice shirt, nice pair of pants, here's your sea bag, and see ya. So that's one. Another one, I'm just transitioning one out of the Air Force now. And it's weeks of classes. They've been transitioning him for months. It's unbelievable. Wow. But at the end of the day, you still come out and basically you're homeless. Well, I mean, face it, most people, not most, but a large majority of folks go into the service because their home life wasn't so great. They were going to either try to make themselves better or running away from something or trying to fill a gap. So you go in, you do your 2-4, you do your contract. When you come back, it didn't make your family any better. Maybe you come back and maybe the relationships are worse because you were further away, or maybe they were more broken, or maybe the ties were broke. So you basically come out of the service homeless. If you don't have a family or a support system built at home to say, hey, Zach, hey, we're so happy, Tony, you're home. Here's your bed. We're going to have a welcome home party and lasagna and happy. And doesn't happen all the time. So you come home, and what's the first thing you did? Most likely you ran as far as you can away from everything military. Like, I am John, dude, I'm out. You run, you forget about your buddies, and you lose all of those connections, but you're so programmed to be that other person. The civilian life it's not black and white. Military, it's black or white, yes or no. Civilian is all gray. There's no black or white. Everything is in the gray, and the gray is the scary part. Gray is where things fall apart. Well, you told me this. Why didn't you stick to it? Well, that's not how that's not how civilian life works. It did in the military, but not here. So there's just so many hurdles that are put in place, and it's not your fault at all. You guys are programmed you're trained to be a specific person. You're trained to do a job. And the reason why we have the ability to sit here is because you did that job. So the least we can do is make sure when you come home that we keep those tools in place, and we give you more that you can utilize and you can use to help just excel and feel more comfortable and not struggle so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the veterans housing has been so great. Again, we do a lot of the same markets and stuff like that with the podcast with you guys. And it's just like, you see every time we go out to a market, there's so many new people who come up to us who are like, oh, I could use help from these people or that people. And there's so many vets out there that like me and Zach said before, time and time again, when you first get out, especially, I know for myself, I was too prideful. I was like, no, I can do this. I can do that. When there's those resources, use them. And there's so many resources out there that are unheard of as well. I mean, like our friends there at Hicks Strong, they are a great resource. And since we're so little, we haven't heard of them yet. We have, but like other people haven't heard of them.
Yeah.
So there's so many veteran resources out there that it just takes one network, one person to be like, hey, we can get you help here, we can get you help there. And it's the smallest little things all the way to the biggest things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the system of supports, and it's so true. So, the 22 a day, 22, one is too many. 22 is out of control. And but you
Absolutely.
can see how it happens, and how you can fall through the cracks, and how things can get just so overwhelming that it seems like there is no end in sight, and that's the only way to go. If
Yeah.
we go over the past 5 years alone, we have had 400 men through the house, and we've had over almost 100 women through the Guardian House. That's
That's
just
awesome.
the 2 transitional houses. We also own and have housing within the 7 counties. We work with landlords, and we place our veterans there. So you think about the outreach part. Thousands of local veterans are making those connections. Christmas alone was just unbelievable. And it's by doing things like this: outreach, supports, fall behind on your rent. You have a family, you're struggling, you need a little support, your car breaks down, and now you're going to lose your job. Then you're going to lose your house. Well, let us know before that happens, and we can step in and help before it gets to that. Hey, listen, I'm on the street and I got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, like we said, that's dropping that pride, staying humble, and saying, hey, it's getting a little tight, in whatever situation, where can I get help? So I'm so great to hear that you guys can help out with that stuff as well. People listening, they're not going to see it because they're listening, but I put on there on the banner where they can reach out to you. Michelle, can you tell us your website and where people can reach you?
Yes. So do find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We're huge on that. Our webpage is vchcny.org. We do 3-4 posts a day. We share success stories on our Instagram, on all of our social media. We'll do outreach. We'll talk about needs and services. If we have specific veterans coming into the program, and we need something specific for them, we'll do shout outs. Success stories of people that moved out of the transitional houses and we're going into something new, great stories of triumph, of heartache, a little bit of everything. And it's a great connector for the community to see, how can I get involved? What can I do? Where are they going to be? And you can find us pretty much everywhere. Come take some information, make a very discreet phone call. And that's the other thing too. We don't use anybody as a poster child for anything.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. Like if we share something about somebody, it's only because they are completely like that person where they're like, oh, sure, I would love to be, love to share, my picture or whatnot.
Mhm.
Other than that, there's no bells and whistles, no balloons. It's, very quiet, very discreet, that we keep everybody's privacy intact. And I think, and my agency thinks the same way. That's really how it should be.
I agree, because
Awesome.
like we said, you don't know what someone's going through or what they have gone through.
No.
So it's good to be in that sense professional, where you're not, blasting their face or their name. There's a lot of other organizations that, use vets as poster childs and say, oh, we'll give you this if we can just use this. And, me and Zach said right from day one, we're not that kind of people. We don't want that in our.
I've been in like business meetings where we were at conferences and I would have somebody sitting next to me in a suit. And P.S. they had come through the transitional housing at one point.
Exactly.
Nobody in a million years ever would have needed to know or had to know. But it was just that quiet. We made eye contact and that was it. And that's the way it should remain, because that's something that you learn and you go on from. But you don't need a constant reminder, and you don't need your dirty laundry in public either.
And a lot of people don't want to be put out like that either.
No.
I mean, like you said, Michelle, there are some people that, yeah, go ahead, you can use my picture, my name, but I find a lot, especially doing, Tony and I doing the markets, and stuff like that. There are, you could tell a veteran. You could tell a military member, and you could also see, you make that eye contact that it's a nod, or it's
Mhm.
whatever, and that's where it stays. You don't put them out there. Like, hey, there comes a guy. He was in the military, he did 6 tours, walking down the street. Maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't want people to know.
And that's the
Maybe
thing.
maybe them knowing, could trigger something in his past,
Absolutely.
or whatnot. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
nice.
Yeah, so we're wrapping it up here. We got about 4 minutes left or so. What else do you want people to know, Michelle, or any shout outs or anything like that?
So we are big into the community. So we could not do what we do without the community support. So if you could go onto our website, you can find ways of getting involved, whether it's volunteering once things start opening some more. Volunteering, we have a veteran food pantry that we can always use help with food dropping, sorting foods, doing some pickups, things like that. Monetary donations are great because then we can put it to specific needs. The great thing is that 100% of all donations go back to our veterans. So that is very important. This is not a top heavy organization. We're not overloaded with all kind of swag and t-shirts. Literally whatever we get goes right back to those that we serve. So you can find out more about our website. And Foreverly House will be doing a big launch in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned on that. And best thing to do is volunteer or donate. That goes a long way.
Awesome.
We couldn't do it without you guys, and we couldn't do it without the community support.
Yeah, definitely. And I know me and Zach both said we definitely wanted to come down, and with our families too, if possible, to come down and actually physically help do something, because it's all hands on deck when it comes like this. Many hands make light work, and it's such a great cause. Like, I question myself and say, why would you not want to? Why would you just want to sit there and say, oh, someone else will do that?
It's a family. It really is. It doesn't matter what branch. It doesn't matter. There's a meme going around out there. Like, anybody, if somebody that's non-military makes fun of somebody military, like, there's crickets in the room. But
yeah.
the Army can yell at the Navy and it's fine. Like, it goes back and forth. That's what it is. It's truly a family, and it doesn't matter branch, color, creed, whatnot. We're here for one another. We'll go above and beyond. It's the brotherhood, sisterhood, and it will always be like that. You guys fought so we can do this, and you are owed everything for our freedom.
Absolutely. Well, I know personally, thank you so much, Michelle, for hopping on. It means so much to us. Zach, any closing comments, my man?
No, I just appreciate everything you can do. It's amazing, to see people transition and change and get the respect that they deserved is really what I see out of it. Is they deserve it. It might take forever to gain their trust, but you gain that one little bit, it's there for life. So yeah. I appreciate everything that you do.
It's true. We're always looking for referrals. So anytime you meet somebody, let them know who we are and what we do. And then trust me, we'll go above and beyond to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And like we always say, guys.
That's right. Stay triggered. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Michelle.